Mr. Yacob is at present the advisor to the International Tropical Fruits Network. He possesses a vast experience and knowledge spanning more than 40 years in the horticultural field, particularly in aspects of production and activities along the value chain of horticultural crops, including 25 years with the Department of Agriculture Malaysia, before joining TFNet in 2005, where he served as the CEO from 2009 to 2015. It thus brings me great pleasure to hand over the panel discussion to Mr. Yacob Ahmad. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy. That's a fun introduction. Quite a surprise because I didn't expect the introduction. Yeah. Anyway, just a message to all the speakers. Could you please look at the chat because some of the questions are related to you. So rather than me asking you the question, you probably are familiar with the questions first, and then maybe you can respond later. So what I'll do now is I'll go through the questions one by one, and then the questions which you can go ahead and answer the questions, and when we finish, we'll go ahead with the panel discussion. But before I start here, I'd like to thank again and congratulate all speakers for their interesting, informative, engaging, and as you notice, very colorful presentations. So we will now start with the Q&A. The first thing I see here is something for Dr. Deng, yeah, from the first speaker. I think the question is about the disease, yeah, Dr. Deng?
Oh, yes.
It's about the Thalassemia virus disease. And this question is from Harun Odiembo, yeah, Harun. He asks, how do you cope with the challenge of TEMV, which is popular in Asia, including China? The viral disease is seed-borne and major challenge to farmers, especially maintaining clean seed. So can we have some response, Dr. Deng? Yeah, he's asking about the virus disease.
We mean here the dealings by integration of very few health settings produce the center. And the same time, the plant months should be changed to 1 year. Yes, is
Could you repeat again, Dr. Deng? I didn't hear the last part. Yeah. Could you please repeat the answer?
We meaning ability health settings by establishing very few health settings production center. At the same time, the planting months should be changed to 1 year.
Okay, you're talking about planting material. Okay, thank you. Maybe later you can email me the answer, yeah, Dr. Deng? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, okay, Mr. Luseki, we'll have the presentations on the website in 2 weeks, yeah. Okay, the next question is on okay, Shiamala. I think you've this, yeah, for varietal protection. Yeah, this is exporting the seeds and whether the seeds should be sterile so people don't grow it. Dr. Shiamala, you want to respond to this one? Your mic is off.
Usually, as I know, the GMOs are basically producing the sterile seed, but some companies, like their technology, they won't reveal how they make the seed sterile. So I'm not so sure how to make the passion fruit seeds sterile.
Just to add to that, I think I haven't heard of sterile passion fruit seeds, and I think most of the planting materials are in cuttings rather than seeds. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, this is a question from Mr. Rizka, from our colleague in Indonesia. This report that passion fruit in Malaysia is affected by the East Asia passion fruit virus and Thalassemia virus. How is Malaysia able to control the disease?
So far, we have no any reported stating that Malaysian passion fruit has been affected by this virus.
Thank you. That's a very brief answer, yeah. Okay, and another question to Dr. Shiamala is, does passion fruit in Malaysia, is it affected by climate? What's the difference if it's in Johor and Cameron Highlands? Yeah, maybe you can answer this. This is from Nur Aryan Muhammad from Malaysia, I think.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, for the Johor and Cameron Highland, that's the place where the first introduced the passion fruit in 1960s. So now, but then now the passion fruit is equally can be found everywhere in all the states of Malaysia. So in terms of climate, of course, it will the effect of climate is there for passion fruit, especially they will determine the cycle of the flowering and fruiting. So other than that, it will affect the taste of the fruit as well. If like too rainy, also not good. So just for the passion fruit, they just need the adequate rainfall and full sunlight so that we can obtain the good yield and also the good quality of the fruits.
Yes, I agree with you. I think passion fruit is a very adaptable plant, very adaptable. And the only thing, like you said, the difference is in whether it's dry or whether it's humid. Yeah. Okay, this is a question from Sabine, our colleague from FAO. To Dr. Ellina, what is the reason for the decline in passion fruit production in Indonesia? Yeah, I know you have it in your slide, but maybe you can explain better, Dr. Ellina. Up to you. Yeah, it's yours. Yeah, can you answer that? Your mic is off. Your mic is off, Dr. Ellina.
Thank you, Yacob. This is Sabine. Actually, I had posted the question before Dr. Mansyah continued with her presentation, and she provided the reasons actually. So in the interest of time, if you wish, it became redundant. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. No, just in case Ellina wants to add some other things. Dr. Ellina, you want anything to add? I mean, Ellina mentioned about volcano and about switching crops from passion fruit to vegetables, right? Are the reasons? Dr. Ellina?
I think it's enough for my presentation.
Okay, thank you. This is Melvin Medina to everyone. What is the recommended elevation above sea level to grow passion fruit? Anybody want to answer that? Maybe Dr. Viet, because you're going in the highlands. Do you want to tell us what's the highest elevation you can grow passion fruit? Your mic is off. Yeah, your mic is off. Dr. Viet, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. In Vietnam, we have the two different kind of varieties. It's purple and yellow. For the purple, we have to grow under 500 about sea level. Under 1,200, we can grow very good with very good yield. But the purple varieties cannot grow in the lowland. We have to grow the yellow varieties. But now in Vietnam, the yellow varieties is not high yield, so we have to select it, the varieties with high yield. Quality is good, but yield is not high.
Dr. Viet, just to add to that, what you're saying is the varieties for the high elevation doesn't grow in the low elevation. Grow well.
It's purple varieties cannot grow in the low.
Cannot grow, so it will die. If you grow, it will die.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can grow, but the quality
not so good.
And not good. Yeah, and yield also not high.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So it's adaptable, but then maybe certain elevation, certain varieties do better. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, this is for Mr. Ali Al Sharif. I'm sure Mr. Ali, are you from Egypt? Yeah. Yeah. He wants to know whether we can share presentations or recording. Yes, we can. We'll do it. We have it on our website. Maybe in 2 weeks to 1 month. Yeah. Don't worry. We'll let you know. Okay. This is from Mr. Domingo Angeles. Just show the farmers. Okay, this is a comment. Just show the farmers that passion fruit generates high income and many will grow it. Big question mark, because you can grow it and you have a lot of it. If you can't sell, also a problem. Okay. Yes. Of course, the income from what we see in the past in the presentations, I noticed good income. In fact, I'm quite actually taken, by Dr. Deng slideshow, which mentions that in 2018 it was part of the poverty alleviation program. So that's fantastic. That means it gives you a lot of income. Yeah, passion fruit gives a lot of income. for farmers, and it's relatively easy to grow, I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay. From Enu Chong, is passion fruit leaf? Okay. She's asking whether passion fruit leaves are consumable. I think, was it Dr. Shiamala? You had some. Yeah. Maybe you want to explain. Maybe you can use it as for chewing or something. You know, without getting drunk or something.
Actually, the dry leaf of passion fruit can use to make a tea, and then we can drink the tea to to treat the insomnia particularly. And the leaves are also in India being applied as a plaster to treat the inflammation and also asthma attack. However, in Europe, they boil the leaf together with the water and drunk to treat the dysentery and also hypertension.
Okay, I just cut you there. Just to get back to the question, actually, Mr. Andrew asked, is there any benefit from eating the leaf? So he's taking, you put in your mouth and munch it. Yeah. So is there something? I think it should have some way. Maybe it helps
it's
you.
Like based on my experience, when I eat it, it's a bit a bitter taste.
Okay, so it's probably good for the stomach if it's bitter. Yeah. Okay, but it can be eaten. All right.
It's edible.
Maybe Dr. Viet will have some answers to that. If you eat the leaves of passion fruit, do you feel better, or can you get rid of a headache or something? If you eat the leaf of the passion fruit,
the leaf,
is there anything? Yeah, good. Yeah.
Some farmer can eat the leaf, but for passion fruit, I think in Vietnam very useful. We can use I think all the parts of the plant.
Okay.
Even the leaf and fruit we can have the juice. After that we can use the fruit for the cause for the animal.
Okay.
And from the seed we can extract the oil and some other very useful material for the medicine.
So what you're saying is a very versatile food. Yeah, I mean you can use every part of the plant.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Viet, Dr. Shiamala. This is another question for Mr. Norman Rosello. Yeah, he says he wants to know whether what is the recommended trellis system? Trellis? I think what he means is what's your distance between each trellis, and what's the planting distance between each plant along the trellis? Maybe who wants to answer this? Dr. Deng, Dr. Kuang, or Dr. Viet?
The plant density?
The trellis system.
The cropping system in Vietnam, we use very different monocropping with the distant.
Dr. Viet, I cut you there because what he wants to know is trellis is when you put your wire and your different posts, your wood, your wood post. He wants to know what type of trellis is it? 10 feet by 10 feet, and then you have a wire on top. He wants to know. Only that. Thank you.
The average is 3.4.
Okay.
So row between row is 4 meters, and from plant to plant 3 meters. Okay. But very diverse in the production. If some farmer can grow wider.
Okay, I'll just ask I have one question which I want to ask, but this is a very straightforward question. How long can a passion fruit plant last? I mean, it's a perennial. It can go on, but normally for commercial purposes, yeah. How long will you let it be on the ground? Passion fruit plant. How long can it last? 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years?
No. Now, because the disease, infected of disease, and some disease can transmit to the other location. So we recommended the farmer better only 15 months.
Okay.
Is better, but some farmer can keep 2 years.
Okay, so thank you. So that's very important, I think. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very important.
because of disease.
Yeah. So, thank you. I'll go to the next question. This is Padma Devi. Hi, please comment on conservation method of passion fruit. I'm not sure what you mean by conservation here. Is Padma, are you around? Can you just explain what you mean by conservation method of passion fruit?
Yeah, hi. I just want to know, it's like we have like institute and institute of conservation methods, right? So would like to know how in what level of passion fruit it's like, okay, we have to maintain the fruit seeds and everything. Do we have seed banks or
Yeah,
tissue culture, the propagation method?
Right.
So in fact, the methods are moving to the conservation, right? So I
Okay,
would like to know what are the methods that you are proposing.
So you're asking about the germplasm collection,
Yes.
maintaining the germplasm, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, maybe Dr. Deng or Dr. Kuang, you can talk about how do we conserve your planting material? You have a hybrid, how do you maintain it so that you can use it every time? Use it from cuttings or from seeds, or how do you maintain? How do you conserve your planting material? Dr. Ruben, you want to try this?
You mean collecting the plant germplasm?
Yeah, like say now you have a germplasm collection of 15 varieties. How do you maintain that germplasm collection so that?
Okay, so for in my team, when we collect the plant germplasm, we store it in the greenhouse and also in the field, and besides the storage, we can also evaluate it in the field, and then we will collect the seeds and also use the healthier plant material for the grafting, and then we can remade it maybe for 1 or 2 years, and actually we also tried to use the tissue culture technique to save it, but now it's just on progress. We successfully set up the platform of the tissue culture for yellow ones, but I think it may be a little difficult for the purple cultivars. So with these free systems like the tissue culture and the greenhouse and also the field free plantation systems, we stored the germplasm. But actually, I think it's kind of difficult because I think for passion fruit, it has many threats of the and actually the virus disease. That should be pay more attention of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kuang. I see Dr. Viet, you're waiting to answer that also. Dr. Viet, since
Yes.
you're in the plant, you're in the producing industry for plant materials, so maybe you can explain how you maintain your germplasm or your varieties.
Yeah, in Vietnam we have to maintain the germplasm for gene bank in the nest house, only in the nest house, because the virus problem. So we have to keep in the nest house, very serious. And on the breeding also we do in the nest house, and only when we already have the good line, so we can grow in the field only. But we have to keep it in the greenhouse also. When we select it in the field, we have to keep half in the nest house.
Okay.
So that after selecting the good varieties, again we go to the nest house to take this material to multiply.
Double it. You're doing double protection.
Yeah. Because of the virus. problem.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, the next question from Mr. Litrung. Could you share about fertilizers using passion fruit? Okay, this is I think it's very wide because I know different places use different fertilizers. Yeah, but maybe somebody can respond and share like what does passion fruit plant? What does it prefer? Does it prefer more organic or more mineral fertilizers and foliar spray? So what is the simple formula for fertilizing? Yeah, if somebody wants to respond. The farmers or the growers, what do they have? Do they use a foliar fertilizer? Do they use organic mixed with mineral fertilizers? And what's the common recommendation? If there are no, yeah, Dr. Viet, you look like you want to answer.
Yes. We apply for the passion fruit before planting with manure, with organic manure and some potassium.
Okay.
And after that, after planting, every 15 days, we apply the complex fertilizer with the NPK and some other mineral.
Okay, I think we can we do this way, Dr. Viet? Maybe after this, we'll be writing a report on this webinar. So you will provide us the answer. We put it in the report. Then everybody else can look at it. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, the next question is also okay. This is from Shiamala Devi again. Which of the fruit variety tastes? I think you're trying to say tastes better, purple or green, more purple or more green. Yeah. So I would choose purple, of course. Dr. Shiamala or anybody else want to respond to this? Or Ellina?
Yeah. If I prefer the purple one because it have the sweeter taste plus the sour and acidity. Green one I never tasted before.
Yeah. What about from Indonesia? They prefer the purple one or the green one? Dr. Ellina, yeah, your mic, yeah. Do you like the green one or the purple one?
It depends on the purpose. If you want to processing, we use the purple one.
Okay.
But if we want to use as fresh consumption, we use the yellow one.
Yeah.
It's sweet taste, the Passiflora ligularis. But the yellow one is also sweet, not sweet,
yeah.
acid. And the yellow with acid taste you can use for processing also.
Yeah, and I think the yellow one over here is very sweet. I think there's no acid, so it is like just sweet. Yeah. Dr. Parma, I hope we've answered the question. Okay, this is a good question from Dr. Ali, is it? What is the possibility of growing passion fruit in North Africa in respect to limiting high and low temperature? So are you talking about Egypt, Saudi Arabia, or are you talking about Lebanon? Dr. Ali, are you here?
Yeah, Egypt. I'm talking about Egypt.
Yeah, you're from Egypt, right? So you're talking about Egypt?
Yes.
Okay. If you ask me if you can grow bananas in Egypt, then you can grow passion fruit.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I don't know. Somebody want to respond, Dr. Deng? You want to respond? If it's in a very hot area, desert area, can you grow passion fruit?
So you're asking me or asking the?
Yeah, I just want this is for you to respond. Our colleague Dr. Ali is asking whether we can grow passion fruit in North Africa.
Yeah.
We can. We'll have to visit you, Dr. Ali. Then I think maybe southern Egypt near the Sudan border we can do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, if you can plant bananas there, then you can plant passion fruit.
Yeah, this is a short answer. Yeah.
Is it acceptable?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Please keep in touch. Yeah. Okay. This is a question from Dr. Rizka to Dr. Ruben to Rainbow. What plant crops can be cultivated in rotation? Okay, she's asking about intercropping and rotation. Dr. Ruben, you want to respond to that?
Yes. For the
But so sorry, to control Colorado. He's also mentioning to control Colorado.
So to control the carrot, some actually in our field practice, people use rotation with the system with the rice, corn, and also soybean, because it may change the soil and irrigation system a lot. They rotated 2 years or 3 years, and then they will check the system and to decrease the pathogen attack. And for the intercropping, people, or we have some practice like the Fusafan built in banana. We use Chinese leek and also the ginger to for the intercropping.
Sure.
But actually, in passion fruit, we still need research data in the field.
Okay, so you're referring to Fujirim, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's yeah. I think China, they do a lot with planting leek in between bananas, and so I think you do the same with passion fruit, yeah. Okay, thank you. I hope that answers the question, Dr. Rizka. From Mr. Andrew Chong, how much water does one passion fruit plant require per day? I don't know. I can't answer that. Anybody can give an indication how much water does it require? I mean, we have to talk about a small plant, big plant, or plant which is producing. Yeah. So for a plant which is producing, how much water do you need for healthy growth? Yeah. If we don't have answer, it's okay. We can get back to you later, and then right. But if anybody has anything, just let me know, because I haven't found any information on this either. Okay, so we'll skip this one. Sorry, Mr. Andrew, but we'll let you know when we get the response from the speakers. Yeah, thank you. This is from Lusike Wasilwa. Could you please share? Okay, sorry. Share recording. Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll put it on our website. Anyway, Mr. Lusike, can I ask where you're from, please? Okay, you're not at the table. Okay, Mr. Man. Okay, sorry. Mr. Man. Slide presentation, no problem. How are virus transmitted? This is for Mr. Melvin. By insects? If so, which insects? And okay, Mr. Biao mentioned already many epics. It's correct, Dr. Biao, on virus. You already answered the question, so I'm not going to repeat. Okay, this is Ellina's response. We can attain germplasm directly in community through several community nursery and distribute seedlings to community. Okay. This is from Mr. Vincent Libut. As world population development increase, how can passion fruit industry possibly solutionize a long-term food insecurity problem globally? And in what way passion fruit industry will satisfy the demand in the market? I think this is what we were talking after this. Yeah, we haven't we have to talk about this. It's a really a humongous. It's a big question. Yeah. So it needs a lot of discussion. Needs a lot of interactions. It needs a lot of discussions with the players, with stakeholders. Now, we don't only talk to researchers, you don't only talk to academics, you don't even only talk to exporters, you have to talk, with the whole group. Yeah. So this is a difficult question. So I'm sorry, Mr. Vincent, but we can maybe we can discuss a little bit during the panel discussion. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so I think the rest is okay. Question. Okay, we're done with question and answers, unless there are any more right now. Mr. Mono, are you gonna ask something? Because I know Fiji is beginning. We saw the thing growing in Fiji, passion fruit. Yeah. So how's the development in Fiji and passion fruit? If you want to tell us in one sentence.
Yes, that's why we get connected again to this seminar. We're trying to develop our passion fruit industry once again, which was one of the economical horticultural commodity at one time. And one time we had a processing factory for passion fruit alone.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but over the years now, we've closed down 5 years ago. And that is the very reason why we want to revive the passion fruit industry again, which has gained a lot of interest from stakeholders, especially processing.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope you find this webinar interesting for you. Yeah.
Yeah, very fascinated by the presentation from Vietnam and yeah, the presenters on the expansion of passion fruit in terms of processing. And the amount of revenue that is getting in, since Fiji is a sugarcane agro economy, and we, due to the declining of sugar prices in the global market, the challenge has come to the Ministry of Agriculture to look for diversification in order to revive agriculture industry.
So I suggest maybe what you can do is you contact Dr. Viet and get his email, and then book a flight to Vietnam, and then take a look. You know, Dr. Viet is very, very helpful, I know. Okay, so okay, I think before we go to panel discussion, I'd like to invite a few people who are, you know, who are together with us now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw Lily Beth Dayan from the Philippines. I heard she's going to revitalize the passion fruit industry in the Philippines. So, Mrs. Beth Dayan, do you want to say something? Lilibeth Dayan from the Philippines.
Lilibeth Danan, sir. Danan.
Okay, yes, Danan. Sorry, yeah. Do you want to comment on anything about passion fruit and how is it the status of passion fruit in the Philippines?
Actually, particularly in my town, because that's the place where we're trying to revive the passion fruit industry. Because before our town, Taisan, is the biggest supplier in the province of Batangas, but some reason it's quite fade away, but now we're trying to revive it again together with the local farmers in the municipality.
Okay, thank you. So you have big plans for passion fruit in Philippines?
We're not moving in the Philippines area. We're just concentrating for now in our town, and then we see to it after that.
Yeah, but that can be the nucleus for the Philippines, right? I mean, it starts from the nucleus and it goes forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I learned a lot from this conference in this webinar, and I'll try to contact one of the doctors and then try to ask more questions, especially when it comes to farming and other diseases of the plants.
Sure, we'll let you have the emails, and you can communicate with them. That's what TFNet is for. You know, we get people together and then we get people to question each other. Yeah, okay. So thank you, Ms. Elizabeth, for coming on. Yeah, thanks so much. Okay, and next, I see somebody from New Zealand, from the New Zealand Passion Fruit Association. Somebody from New Zealand, and I think New Zealand is listed as one of the companies which or one of the countries which export passion fruit. So can somebody from the New Zealand Passion Fruit organization, association, just
Christine Herbert.
Yeah, Christine Herbert. Yeah, Christine, can you just introduce yourself and say something about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kia ora, everybody. I'm from New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I grow passion fruit in the Bay of Plenty, which is one of the main passion fruit growing areas in New Zealand. The industry is quite small. We produce about 100 tonne a year and grow on about 17 hectares. So very, very small in comparison to what some of these other growers that you've been talking about. And the industry is worth about 1.3 New Zealand million dollars. We export mainly to the USA market, but COVID presented quite a few issues with us because we weren't able to get flights out to America. So that meant that our domestic market was not so much flooded with fruit, but had more fruit on it than perhaps what we might normally have had over the last couple of years. And it's kind of changed the dynamics about where we send our fruit. But the biggest issue that the association is facing at the moment in the industry at large is actually Fusarium oxysporum. And it's actually decimated quite a few orchards, and we're finding that growers are leaving the industry. So we've got a rootstock trial underway at the moment, and I'm very interested to hear some of the techniques and programs that people have got to actually develop resistant varieties.
Thank you so much for that, for those comments. But I just want to know, what about the local demand, the domestic demand in New Zealand? Is it well, increasing, or is it getting better, or it's just?
Well, it's changed around a little bit. As I said before, a lot of our fruit actually had gone overseas, but with COVID, it's kind of coming back onto the local market, and there's strong demand. And we found over the last 2 years with COVID that not all areas of New Zealand actually get passion fruit. And so we're finding that there's quite a bit of movement of fruit around the country, which is really great. So, you know, our biggest market, domestic market, would probably be Auckland, which is our largest city. And but we're finding that places like the South Island don't get much fruit, so there's been increased trade going down to the South Island. So with COVID, we've kind of had to look for new markets in order to sell fruit. So the wholesalers have been especially busy.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you so much, Christine. Yes,
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'll just invite another. I believe the Passion Fruit organization of Australia is here. Is any representative from Australia? Because Australia also exports passion fruit, I believe. Anyone from Australia? Okay, if there's none, actually there's a person from Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Mat Abdul Basit. Are you still around, Dr. Mat Abdul Basit? If I'm not mistaken, I saw in the chat that you can join in, yeah? Because Dr. Abdul Basit, he wants to introduce something on the passion fruit in Bangladesh. Dr. Mat Abdul Basit. Count to three. If you're not there, we're gone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's. Okay, I think he just left the room. Okay, right now I think we will go ahead with our panel discussion. Panel discussion of I've sort of three questions here. So we start with first. What we do is I'll pose these questions, and I would like to invite the speakers to respond if you want to respond to this question. So my first question is about statistics. As we know, there is not much statistics on yield, production, exports on passion fruit. Yeah. So I would like to ask a comment whether we should standardize this when not only passion fruit, maybe also in other minor crops. Yeah, but in passion fruit, I think maybe we should to standardize, because in the presentation earlier, there were someone talking about how many fruits, how many plants here, and some of the presentations were about how many hectares. Yeah, so I think there must be some kind of a standardized format so that everybody reports the same thing. I noticed there's one presentation where 50 million fruits, you know, so it's fruit, so that's very difficult to quantify. Big fruits, small fruits, yeah, it's difficult. So I just want to ask your view, should we standardize this? Because this is for the benefit of, well, for all those who want real, well, not real, but good estimates of production, good estimates of hectareage, good estimates of exports. So maybe I'll start with the experienced person, Dr. Viet, if you want to comment about statistics. How do we gather good data on passion fruit? Your sound is off. Your voice, Dr. Viet, I can't hear you. It's off. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. in Vietnam, we are collecting the data officially from Department of Crop Production belonging to Minister of Agriculture, because they will collect data from different provinces. So it is, I think it is officially, but maybe later, 1 or 2 years, we only will have the data. We cannot have data for in this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. Because passion fruit is different. It's not a tree; it's a vine. Yeah, it goes like grape. So
yeah,
unless you do monocropping, easy. But sometimes in some countries they have
yes,
mixed with other crops.
you're right.
So we have to work out the hectare equivalent. So it's not easy. Yeah. So that's why I asked whether we should have a standard way. If it's mixed crop, this is how you do. If it's monocrop, this is how you do. Yeah.
We do like that because if monocropping, average they grow 800 plant per hectare. But for intercropping with coffee, often they grow because they already have the row of coffee, so they will plant the passion fruit in between the row, so that they will grow about 450 to 500 plant. Depend on in intercropping, rubber or coffee or black pepper. This is from 450 to 500.
So in other words, the data we get is very reliable. Yeah. I mean, it comes from the source.
Yeah.
It's very reliable. Okay, thank you, Dr. Viet. Yeah, maybe from Indonesia, Dr. Ellina, do you want to just give us an idea of how you get data for passion fruit in Indonesia?
In Indonesia, the national statistical data on production is only for the Konyal or
Okay.
Regularis.
Just
There
one
is no
time.
data. Yeah, there is no data
Okay.
for the purple passion fruit. From the data, we found that the production per year is between from 60 to 90 tons per hectare per year.
It's very high.
Yeah. For North Sumatra Regency, the agriculture services found that the production is about 46 tons per hectare for purple passion fruit.
Okay.
For West Sumatra Regency, the agriculture service measure the planted area by number of trees.
Okay.
I think that there is no uniformity in the counting the planted area. So for the standardization, I recommended that it's based on, I suggest, based on 2 categories. The first one, based on kind of variety, because each variety has different weights. The purple one is smaller than the yellow one.
Yeah.
So the standardization, the first one is based on the kind of variety. The second one based on the planting system. There are 2 planting systems with trellis and the horizontal planting system. Production planting area with a trellis system is different to the horizontal system because they are different in space. For horizontal system, the farmer in West Sumatra use the spacing area spacing 4 and 4 meters in space.
Okay.
Also about 600 to 800 plant per hectares.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Is that all, Dr. Ellina? Thank you. Yes, so we have some basic, so Dr. Ellina mentioned about two categories of different varieties, but I think it's difficult to take data on the varieties. Maybe when you work together with the statistic department, they work out a thing, yeah? So like, when you aggregate it, so what we want, what's important for us is the aggregated data, yeah? What we look right at the bottom of the page, the aggregated data. But like I know in Vietnam, in China, they do it more on trellis. That Malaysia, it's not much, but I see them doing on trellis too, yeah? Malaysia, but Malaysia, they do more mix, I think, mixed cropping or something. So what's my point here is we just need to standardize data so that when we look at data, we can have a real picture. Okay, this is your system. Like when Dr. Ellina mentioned the horizontal system, it is, even though it is 10 hectares, it might be equivalent to 1 hectare of the trellis system. Correct? And now, yeah, 10 hectares of the horizontal system might be, the production might be just 2 hectares of the trellis system, right? Because the horizontal system, the yield is different, right? Yeah, but like what I said, that we have to aggregate the data, whether trellis or whether horizontal system, we have to look at the bottom and add it all up. So this is just to put it selected crops, but minor crops especially longan, passion fruit, and durian. We can have a consistent data, not differing from different countries. Yeah. So I know like in China you do a lot of trellis system. So China is on monocrop, right? Just monocrop, so it's easy. But how many plants do you have per hectare in China? Dr. Deng, how many plants per hectare?
In China, in Guangxi, meaning connects the data from 3 departments. One is a brain of synthetic agrification, investigation teams, which is available in every country. Counting is official. 2. Guangxi passion for the industry association. 3. Passion for the comparative. The joint farmer house hands. At the same time, there is a CLX to prevent that. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't quite get the last. I just want to know, like for 1 hectare, how many hundred plants can you put in 1 hectare? How many plants per hectare? 1 hectare, how many plants?
How many plants?
About
of the
1,500. Yeah, to 2,000 plants in 1 hectare.
See, this just
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Ruibin, you want to answer that?
Yeah, for 1 hectare is about 1,500 to about 2,000 plants.
So yeah, so that means it's much more than Indonesia, yeah. So that's why I say when we put in data on hectareage, plant density can be different, yeah. So it will affect the production, yeah. So that's why we have to be consistent in this. Okay, but it's good that we discuss this because then we understand, okay, what is the best way to obtain data for passion fruit, for example. Okay. So Dr. Shiamala, you want to add anything about standardization of data collection in passion fruit? Your sound is off.
If like in Malaysia, I think we need a specific association to collect or gather this data so that we can publish it in worldwide as a total production.
Yeah.
And again, it depending on the spacing between and within the rows will influence the production as well.
Yeah, because in Malaysia, the Department of Agriculture is doing it, but the thing is, you have to get down to the nitty-gritty and see what's really happening, especially when you do mixed cropping. Yeah. Okay, I think that this is something which we need to discuss again to be more specific. Maybe our colleague from Sabine would like to add something because Sabine likes to talk about data. Sabine, you want to say something?
Thank you, Yacob, and good day to all participants. Thank you very much for the incredibly insightful presentations. Talking about data, of course, from my experience of analyzing the tropical fruit markets at FAO for the past 6 years, I cannot stress enough the importance of data, both on the production of these fruits and as we know, for example, in the FAO-Stat database, we do not have separated data on the production of passion fruits, and neither on the other. I have a sound in the.
Okay.
Thank you. They're basically FAO-Stat, as probably many of you know, is unable to report or track production data on most of the minor tropical fruits due to the unavailability of data. FAO, of course, can only rely on the data that is provided by the countries. And as such, like both in terms of the production data and the data on trade, it is of critical importance to strengthen the data collection efforts and in order to make it possible to accurately gauge the potential that these markets offer. And so currently in the HS, the harmonized system, the trade reporting system, passion fruit and a number of other minor tropical fruits are also not separated due to their like historic minor relevance in international trade. But as we all know, the situation has been changing, and trade in these minor tropical fruits, just like as in the major tropical fruits, bananas, mangoes, avocados, all these commodities, trade has been rising. And so in order to grasp these opportunities and to accurately make the policy recommendations, absolutely the collection of data is very, very important. We as FAO would like to support any sort of data considerations, and so we are currently putting together a proposal also on trying to insert separate HS codes into the tariff customs system so that countries can report on these separately. There are a number of countries, especially in the Asia region, who already report on the trade of several of the minor tropical fruits, including passion fruits, at the tariff line, and these are efforts that are very, very much appreciated. But of course, I mean, as we heard also, there are difficulties with the appropriate classification and the different varieties, clustering them together, aggregating the data correctly, and so on. So yeah, I can only stress the importance of data for sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabine, for that, for those inputs. I think it's important, like you said, data is important, and we try as far as possible to get, well, data as it is, good, what we call good estimates, yeah? Thank you so much, Sabine, yeah.
Excuse me, Yacob, if there is possibility, I would like to add a few things.
Sure. So
some of the participants may be aware that our team at FAO, on behalf of the intergovernmental group on bananas and tropical fruits, sends out the annual questionnaire, which collects data on the production and trade of bananas and tropical fruits. So very much encourage countries' participation. So we do, in the last few years, we have managed to get to increase the response rate, and this has been very, very helpful. Ms. Shiamala had presented some of the graphs from our minor tropical fruits analysis from 2017-2018 and the data. And I wanted to explain also that these data are indeed estimates. They were estimated based on the questionnaire responses that we have available. Our team in FAO has stored the questionnaires back to, I think, 1965, or I don't know the precise year when the questionnaire processes were started. But we have the historical records, and so when me and my colleagues prepared the analyses there, we revisited the questionnaire responses in terms of the production quantities, the areas, the yields, and based on these types of information, we generated some estimates in the absence of real-time data. But of course, if in the future countries can provide data more frequently in our annual questionnaires, that will be very, very helpful to be able to analyze these markets properly. And the lack of data availability is actually the main reason for why we have not been able to publish an update to this 2018 publication. Can I share the questionnaire? Yes, I will be very happy to do that. If you would kindly provide your email address, Lusike. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Sabine, yeah, for that explanation about FAO's data policy, I believe, yeah. You have a policy with data. Thank you. Sabine, do you want to add anything else, or you okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, especially since we're talking about the fruits, these are commodities that can be affected, I mean, just as any other agricultural commodity, by adverse weather events, hurricanes, etc. So there is, of course, also very difficult to estimate correctly. Like, you can look at the yields over the last 5 or 10 years, but it may not actually give an accurate portrayal if there is a hurricane or any other bad event, a drought.
Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, so certainly it's very good if countries can increase their efforts to monitor these commodities frequently. Yeah.
Yeah, it's data like this. For example, I think one of the slides, I think it's Dr. Deng or from Vienna, I'm not sure, but it's like the hectareage has decreased, but yields has increased. I think that's for the last, there was one instance. So it may be due to better quality, better cultivars, and better yield. So those things are important. Yeah. Thank you so much again, Sabine, for interacting. Yes. Thank you. Okay, I think we'll just go next. We don't have much time. We got 10 minutes. We have 2 more topics to discuss under the panel discussion. No, it's getting exciting that maybe we finish at 7 p.m. Yeah. No, we'll try to finish this fast. This is about the expansion of passion fruit. Consumption will depend on market demand. Yeah? And of course, what's been presented, we've seen some recommendations, but most of the slides I see, it's all about there is demand. And the factors which stymie, or which sort of puts a block on it, are like pest and disease and I don't know, maybe varieties. But my question is demand. I think it's a big question mark there. Yeah? Like for Vietnam, maybe, I don't know, you have demand. Do you have enough to supply for Vietnam? You have a market demand, but do you have enough grown in Vietnam? In Malaysia, we have demand, but we're not sure. So what I'm saying is every country here has got different levels of consumption demand. Like for China, China's importing from Vietnam. That means you're not producing enough. So that means you have the potential to develop further. Yeah. But I've always asked myself, when you compare passion fruit and other fruits, passion fruit and grapes, passion fruit and apples, passion fruit and durian. So do we think we can make it more attractive for consumers? And how do we do it? Right now, I think, to me, when I look at the graph, it's kind of, yeah, it's like standard, but how do we push it up again for passion fruit? Because like you said, when we talk about nutrition, yeah, it's good, but they'll say, well, I eat apple also have, they got vitamins, and I eat durian or whatever it is, or I eat rambutans. So how do we do it now? How do we push passion fruit to another level? Maybe you could just give me some ideas. I'll give us some ideas. I'll start with Dr. Shiamala. I knew you prepared something, so maybe you can say that. Yeah.
Maybe by developing some innovative products.
Okay, then like what Indonesia is doing, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Yacob, pardon me.
Okay, like what Indonesia is doing. They got a lot of
yes. At least we can penetrate the international markets.
Just to get back to you, but I think for Malaysia, it's more like they have others and the priority is for others. I think so.
Yeah.
So my idea is, how do we get it up? So maybe for countries like Malaysia, we have to talk about, in the government meetings, they have to serve passion fruit. You go to China, you go to Guangxi, they serve it in the hotels. So maybe we should do it in Malaysia or some other countries. Yeah. Or maybe if you go on the national airline on the flights, they should be serving fruit juice rather than orange juice or or Ribena or something else. Yeah. So that's
more publicity and awareness.
Yeah, but for Indonesia, Dr. Ellina, you say now that the demand has gone down. Yeah. So what efforts have been done to sort of improve on that? Because we always have a look at the population. 5 years ago, population different. 5 years ago, Indonesia was 250 million. Now it's 235 million. So that means, to me, the demand should be increasing every year. Same Malaysia, and your middle class, those with disposable income, they should be spending money on things like this. So like Indonesia, is there any reason why? Well, it seems that even though there's demand, but when there's low production, that means indirectly it's telling us that demand is slow. Dr. Ellina, yeah? So how can we explain that? How do we make sure that demand is always at at a certain level where farmers can grow it and can go into it in an aggressive manner?
As we know, currently the public awareness of healthy life is decreasing in Indonesia. So to push the production of and consumption, we must do socialization, the health benefits of the passion fruits as a source of vitamins and minerals, and at the end can increase the interest of consuming. Okay,
so in other words, you're saying we have to impress on them on the nutritional aspect of the fruit, but you have to also to compare with other fruits. People, it's even nature that they want to compare with something else. So maybe if we compare with some of the fruits, maybe we can push it up. You say passion fruit is better than this and this and this. Passion fruit is better than rambutan or durian or something like that. And yeah, okay, we agree on that, Dr. Ellina. We agree that we should promote it. Yeah, well, what's the other point you said?
The second one, we can promote of a fresh and processed product to the public through a local exhibition.
So okay.
Yeah.
So that's promotion.
Yeah, and use the passion fruits product as a drink at various events of government meeting.
Yeah. So it reminds me, maybe we should make it a policy that for every school meal, when the school serves drink, it has to be passion fruit and nothing else. Something like that. Yeah. Make it a policy that when the school serves drinks, it has to be pure passion fruit juice. Then the industry will be love. Correct, Dr. Ellina, yeah?
I agree.
So are you along the same line, yeah? To promote, we have to promote it also with children, school children.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. And your next one?
For export market.
Yeah, okay.
For export market, we can improve the quality. Try to improve the quality of fresh and processing product according to the export standards. And then increasing quantity and continuously through the increasing planting area and production.
Okay.
Improve packaging and branding of the product, and introducing the fresh and processed product to the export market through the exhibition, webinar, and etc.
Okay. Okay. So, is that all? Is that all, Dr. Ellina? You finished? Yes, all? Okay. Thank you so much. Maybe after this, I know you've prepared something on these points. Maybe you can just email me. Yeah? Okay, Dr. Ruben, you want to add something on the how do we market? Because like I said, market and demand. Like China is importing from Vietnam, so the situation in China is very different. But I'm asking about the demand, the local demand. Is it as big as avocados or pineapple or lychee or some other crops?
Yes, I think the passion fruit, the harvest date is kind of accumulated in from July to 10 October. So maybe in other seasons we need some passion fruit import from the Asian countries like Vietnam and Thailand, and for us, I think maybe the important thing maybe we need to fight germplasm that it may be harvested in the early season. For our practice, we planted passion fruit in highland provinces. Though it's just a small area, but due to its high temperature in the winter, so maybe it may meet the need to the local market. And the second, I think maybe deep processing is urgent need, especially in the excessive harvest term. So maybe increase the income of the farmers and the company. Yeah, that's my thing.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ruben. Yeah, so maybe later you can just write it down and email me your answer, yeah, or what you just said. Dr. Viet, I know Dr. Viet has got, maybe Dr. Viet, I'll give you 2 minutes. You're going to talk about how do you improve your demand status in Vietnam. My first question, do Vietnamese enjoy eating passion fruit or they like to export it out?
Yeah. In domestic market, I think increase. Okay. Because now the people like to eat passion fruit. But before we have only Tai Nong one, it is more organic acid. This is not sweet. And now we have the new varieties with more bleach content. So the people like very much. So I think the domestic market will be increased.
Yeah. So
and not only for fresh consumption, also they use for processes, juice, fresh juice, dry, and some other product. So I think that the domestic market will increase in this year and in the near future will be increased steeply.
Yeah, so your
and for export also increase because now we have very good market in EU and American and China. So I think the export also increase.
yes, so your point is to create more demand, grow the correct varieties, right? Grow the correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very important basic point. Yeah, the very important.
Yeah.
So you want to comment anything else, Dr. Van on Dr. Viet on demand before I go to the next question? Do you want anything else to add, Dr. Viet?
Yeah, I think we have to pay more attention on breeding for the new varieties with good quality.
Okay.
It is for fresh must be high bleach content, and for processing must be high acid content. It is will be different. Not the one variety we can use for both.
So you don't believe in a balanced fruit, yeah? So
yeah. And the second one, we have to diverse the product, processing product. We must be very diverse. In Vietnam, it's not diverse now, but we
diverse processed product. Diverse process.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very good point. Yes. So now we're talking.
And the third one, very important, is food safety. Must be very good. Control the practical practice for use of the pesticides. Must be very. If the people believe that it is safety, they can eat. They like to eat, but must be controlled so that our company pay more attention on the construction with the farmer.
Okay.
Yeah, you cannot buy the passion fruit in the free market. We have to grow the passion fruit with good control practical practice. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is very important.
Right. Thank you. So you just mentioned 3 points. One is good cultivar. Second one is food safety. The third one is diverse products. Yeah. Fantastic. So I think that's about what we should do for passion fruit to bring it to another level. This is, I think it summarizes all the speakers. I think this is what we summarize now. It's about variety, it's about best practices and food safety, and it's about diverse products. Okay, we are about close time, so I'll just rush off to the next question. Next question is very brief. You just answer yes or no. Yeah. So in my view, I think passion fruit is a good fruit to be mixed with other crops, because farmers normally they cannot depend on one, because if the one fails, then they lose all the money. So I like to think like fruits to be like maybe mixed 2 or 3 types of fruits. So my question to you is, should passion fruit be a typical fruit type to be intercropped or mixed crop with other fruit crops? Other fruit crops, not rice, not maize, but other fruit crops. Yeah. So I just want your opinion. Just answer yes or no. Okay, Dr. Shiamala.
The answer is yes. It's suitable for intercropping, and also it is a good choice for integrated farming as well, especially together with the apiculture. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ellina. Dr. Ellina, do you want to respond? Whether passion fruit is okay for as a mixed crop, fruit crop?
Fruit crop, yeah. I think it's okay, but it depends on the planting area and the planting system to choose the suitable fruit suitable for highland and lowland. Okay. Yeah, for a highland, I recommended the strawberry with trailer system, but cannot use for a horizontal system.
Okay.
Yeah. In the lowland, you can combine the passion fruit with papaya, but the planting system must be we must use the trailer system.
course.
I think the space 4 and 4 meters is suitable for the passion fruit and papaya. Like this.
Okay. Yeah, that's the point. Good point. Where I think in Indonesia and also Malaysia they prefer mix cropping. Yeah. What about Dr. Ruben? Do you have any comments? In China, I know they do all monocropping, but do they mix with other crops? But you mentioned there's no rice and maize. But what I'm saying is passion fruit and papaya, or passion fruit and I don't know, lychee, or passion fruit and grapes, passion fruit and dragon fruit. What's your idea on this?
Yes, I think it depends. The monoculture is the major plant system in China. I think it's easy to manage the farming activities and also reduce the cross-infection of the disease and pest. But some orchard, they also use the intercropping. I think maybe have two good the first is maybe they can intercrop when with the orange orchard when they are in the childhood and then people want to save the space and then I think maybe in the young plants they can intercrop and because the passion fruit is an annual harvesting plant, and then it will save the time and have no much effect of to the orchard. And then the second is they can save the time. The second, I think maybe they can use their fruiting time difference and get more income. And the second, they may intercrop with the short and small crops, such as the herbal plants. That's very traditional plants in China. For example, the ginger and leek, and then they can use the space difference. Maybe I think it should be pay attention to avoid the same host disease, such as the virus spread. I think maybe this is important to choose the system.
So what you're saying is in mixed cropping is important if you want to reduce the incidence of disease, disease incidence. So it's better to have some form of mixed cropping or rotational cropping or intercropping. So for you, the purpose is more for reducing disease incidences, but generally in China it's all monocrop. So if you don't mind, if you could please send me what you wrote. I just need your comments just now. So can you please email me your comments later on? Thank you. Dr. Viet, I think maybe I'll let you close the session. Just do you prefer mix or do you prefer mono cropping?
We in Vietnam we use both. We use monocropping because of some area we can have the not the industrial crop, so we can use the monocrop. And if we want to export to China, we have to use a monocrop. They don't allow the mixed crop because the problem of insecticides using. But some area we can use the mixed crop with the coffee and tea and other crop because during the first 2 years we can grow the passion fruit. Because we can use in the Central Highland very popular this mixed crop system.
Okay, thank you. So in general, what I'm saying is it is situational. Depends what you're going for. You export to China, then you have to do monocrop, yeah.
Monocrop.
But if it's domestic market, maybe you can mix, and if it's small area, maybe you can mix with other crops. Am I right?
Yeah. Right.
Thank you very much, Dr. Viet. I think so I'll just give some comments. Generally, from the presentation and from the response from participants today, it seems there's great demand for the fruit. There's great demand for passion fruit, both processed and also fresh fruits, yeah. And of course, it's the demand is for the domestic and also international market. And from the data we see, I see a lot of potential, or we see a lot of potential in passion fruit being brought up to another level. Okay, so and we see that Vietnam and China, they're going in a big way, and hopefully the other countries around the region will follow suit. Of course, it's easy to talk, but it also depends on your market. And we in TFNet are of the opinion that passion fruit has potential for this to be developed and improved further. Of course, we need to have research and develop focus on breeding for suitable varieties, best field practices, effective pest and disease management, and good post-harvest management. I think post-harvest, nobody mentioned, but we need good post-harvest management. And it is envisaged. Sorry, somebody watching there. And it is envisaged that passion fruit will be more visible in the coming years because we believe that it certainly has a colorful and bright future. I mean, the pictures are all colorful, so I'm sure the future is also colorful. And just to reiterate, TFNet introduced this webinar series on minor fruits to gauge the potential of this kind of fruits, minor fruits, yeah? And to develop, hopefully we can develop them into mainstream global fruit which is consumed by the global population. And we also take opportunities like this to share information like today. I think information was very good information. Recently, I learned a lot of things today. I think many of us learned many things about passion fruit. Yeah. So I'm truly confident that we can improve the market visibility of such fruits. Okay, as for our webinar on passion fruit, we hope all participants have benefited from presentations and deliberations. And also we're looking at efforts taken by other producing countries to promote the fruit. Yeah. So on behalf of the TFNet team, Dorothy, myself, Christian, No, and Haratul, we'd like to first of all, thank our partners, the Guangxi Academy of Agriculture Science, the Fruit Research Institute, Fruit Tree Research Institute, Guangdong Academy of Agriculture Science, China, and Universiti Putra Malaysia, Bintulu branch, for assisting and supporting us to organize this webinar. We congratulate and thank all speakers for the informative and engaging presentations. TFNet would also like to thank our network colleagues in Australia, Fiji, China, India, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and others for kindly assisting us to invite participants for today's session. Also, our invited guests, Sabine, Beth, Danan, and I can't remember, but thank you also for contributing in this webinar. And of course, I'd like to thank all participants for joining us today. We hope you will continue to attend similar webinars, which will be having quite a few in this year and next year. And please look out for the next one. I think the next one will be on rambutan, and watch out for our announcements. Yeah, we will announce when we will have a next one. Hope you will join us again. Thank you so much and have a fabulous day, everybody.